Today we are looking at safety and lean, and we are wondering, are these friends or foes? Safety and lean sometimes seem to be in contradiction. Lean is often associated with efficiency and in maintenance with hands-on tool time. My name is Linda Mak and I interviewed my colleague Sjoerd Nanninga, who has been looking into the subject. So my first question to Sjoerd is, when looking at safety and lean, you might get the idea that these are foes, but is that really the case?
Yes, Linda. So if you talk to people in plants, safety has a reputation of slowing things down. So when asked, people will say, yeah, in utter frustration, sometimes we have a 5-minute job and it takes us 3 hours or 4 hours to do the safety preparation, get the proper authorizations in place, find our managers to okay everything, and then we're waiting, and then we do our 5-minute job. So it can be frustrating, and it certainly can at times feel totally not lean. What we also see, this is the experience of people in plants, but we also see organizationally that in the large corporations, there's usually a group, internal consultants, people working with lean methodologies in improving the performance of plants. And yeah, the domain that these guys look at, so the black belts, the green belts, is usually totally unrelated to safety. So they'll focus on manufacturing, on maintenance, and maybe sometimes also on the financial and the logistical side of things. But safety is like a separate domain, and there's very little intermingling of the methodology of lean and the application of that in safety.
So my other question was, in which way do you think that lean or lean methodologies could improve safety performance?
Well, I think there's a number of ways in which lean can be applied to safety to increase performance. So I think that one of the biggest thing is that the focus of lean is to standardize work. So whenever there's a situation where you have a process in which there's variation, you are at risk. That's kind of the definition of variation. So for example, if you look at your maintenance job and you're looking at the quality of the risk assessment of that job and all the mitigating factors included, if you have variation in the quality, then you will need to have like a lot of checks and balances, and everybody needs to look at it. So you have like a lengthy process in place to come to a good, safe situation. So if you can have a more standardized process with a standard way of approaching these types of jobs, and everybody in the organization does it the same way, then with much less effort and much less throughput time, you can get to even a higher quality of those risk assessments. So applying principles of standardizing jobs and standardizing also the job process, and you can get a big increase both in quality of the safety in terms of compliance and also the quality of the assessments, but also make it much more efficient.
So clear, standardization is key in making safety more efficient. And then I asked Sjoerd about value creation, as this is also an aspect of lean.
Yeah, and especially value creation through the elimination of waste. Lean is famous for waste reduction. And the process by which we reduce waste is continuous improvement. And continuous improvement for me just means looking really well at an organization and the processes that go on in an organization, and then making small adjustments until it gets better and better and better, and you always keep looking, and that's why it's continuous improvement. And in our experience, the safety processes, they have like a lot of waste in them. So there's of course a lot of waiting time. People rewrite and redo stuff all the time. So that can be very costly, especially the misalignment between departments and people can cost a lot of money and also can be risky at times. So these are the things that we need to eliminate. And secondly, what also sometimes happens is that the downtime in plants is longer than it actually needs to be because of these misalignments. So by working through these aspects of waste, removing them, also the safety processes can be a more value driven and get to a higher quality level with less cost.
But this was about processes, about money and standards. But I was also curious about the people aspect.
Also, one of the key pillars in Lean is the engagement of people. And engagement of people starts with respect and really truly understanding as a leadership of the organization that the people that work in those processes daily are the true experts in their fields. So that any improvement that you're going to implement into an organization is going to start with those people, and they have to first sense and feel and own that there's things to improve, that there's a possibility of value creation, and then also those improvements should be designed and implemented by the people at the shop floor. And that will make it a lasting situation. And of course, the leadership is there to support it, right? Because as the leaders in the organization, they should show that respect and have the trust in their people that they can actually do that. And in the end, they bear the end responsibility, right? Because if you are managing an operational organization, the biggest responsibility that you have is the safety of the people that work in your organization, be the externals, the internals that come to your plant. You are responsible for the safety. And what you need to do is trust that you have people with expertise, and you have to trust the process of continuous improvement.
So it's clear that there is a lot to gain on both sides.
Yeah, so as we discussed in the beginning of this talk, there's still this big separation between the safety professionals on one side and the lean professionals within manufacturing organizations on the other side. So what we think is that those communities and those ways of thinking should really come together. And that means that the safety people, the safety domain, should really get themselves trained and really involved in understanding lean methodology and have a good feeling about how to implement continuous improvement also in the safety processes, and engaging the manufacturing team, the maintenance team, the safety people in from day to day improving those processes. And also from the other side, the lean professionals in those organizations, they usually do not look at the safety processes. But I think that's a mistake, because there is a lot of value to be gained, a lot of waste to be reduced in those processes. And if you take them on board, you can make like great combinations with other processes and optimize the whole plant to a new level. So I think it's just great domain to look at how we can combine stuff, learnings from two sides.
So it is clear that there's a lot to gain on both sides and that they could be friends after all. Operational safety excellence is the connecting domain between safety and lean. And in the other talk in this series, we will go into a new approach in connecting these two. For now, thank you for watching, and if you have anything to add, please use the email address.